My name is Mr. Steve.
Story time.
I'm a storyteller. Hello, everybody! It's me, Mr. Steve, and it's time for another story time! And today, we're going to be reading a beloved book. It's right here. It's by Kevin Henkes? Kevin Heinz Ketchup? Kevin Handkerchief? It's by a guy named Kevin. And it's called Chrysanthemum. Chrysanthemum. Chris Pratt. Chrysanthemum. It's a book about a mouse. Usually, I like to make fun of books while I'm reading them, but this one's kind of long. And also, people love this book, so it's going to be difficult for me, but I'm going to try not to make fun of this book too much. I'll make fun of it a little bit, because I like to sort of riff on books while I'm reading them, but I'm going to try and do it less. You know, the word hero is used a lot these days. The day she was born was the happiest day in her parents' life. She's perfect, said her mother. Absolutely, said her father. And she was. She was absolutely perfect, and nothing bad ever happened to her. The end. Well, that's a short story. Her name must be everything she is, said her mother. Her name must be absolutely perfect, said her father. And it was. Frank. Her parents named her Frank. Oh, wait. Chrysanthemum. Her parents named her Chrysanthemum. Which is difficult for a 1-year-old to say, let alone a 2-year-old, let alone a 4-year-old. That's a difficult name. That's a triple word score in Scrabble. It's a difficult name. Chrysanthemum grew and grew and grew. She grew until she was 50 feet tall, and she destroyed Tokyo. Smash, smash, smash. Oh, wait. Chrysanthemum grew and grew and grew, and when she was old enough to appreciate it, synonyms and antonyms, Chrysanthemum loved her name. I love my name. Okay, cool. She loved the way it sounded when her mother woke her up. She loved the way it sounded when her father called her for dinner. And she loved the way it sounded when she whispered it to herself in the bathroom mirror. Candyman, Candyman. Oh, wait, that's something different. Chrysanthemum, Chrysanthemum, Chrysanthemum. Chrysanthemum loved the way her name looked when it was written with ink on an envelope. She loved the way it looked when it was written with icing on her birthday cake. Yeah, because you needed like 3.5 birthday cakes just to spell your super long name. And she loved the way it looked when she wrote it herself with her fat orange crayon. Wow, way to crayon shame. I didn't know we were body shaming Crayola now. Chrysanthemum, Chrysanthemum, Chrysanthemum. Chrysanthemum thought her name was absolutely perfect. And then she started school. On her first day, Chrysanthemum wore her sunniest dress and her brightest smile. She ran all the way. Hooray, said Chrysanthemum. School. But when Mrs. Chud... Man, these are all really horrible names. These are all just Chrysanthemum and Chub. Saturdays at 8 on Fox. New cop show. You like it? I just came up with that. But when Mrs. Chud took roll call, everyone giggled upon hearing Chrysanthemum's name. Okay, I'm Mrs. Chud, and it's time for roll call. Don? Here. I'm not here. That's fake news. Eve? Lois? Oh, Peter. Al? He's playing an accordion. Les? More? Kay? Max? Max. Sue, Bill, Pat, Tom right here, as you can see, he's a member of the band Counting Crows. He's all grunge with his... Sam, Ken... No, that's not Sam, that's 2 a.m. Wow, what is... So many strange names. Chrysanthemum, meet Mrs. Chud. You'll be sitting next to 2 a.m. Ken, Joe, Rita, Victoria... Chrysanthemum! What are you doing, Eris? Eris? What? You right in the middle of story time? You almost spilled my dog's Sood's root beer.
Sorry.
Eris?
Sorry.
This is good root beer. Dog's Suds root beer. It's so long, said... Excuse me, that was the dog's Suds root beer. It's so long, said Joe. It scarcely fits on a name tag, said Rita, pointing. I'm named after my grandmother, said Victoria. You're named after a flower. Oh, okay, it's Mean Girls. Stop trying to make fetch happen. Chrysanthemum wilted. She did not think her name was absolutely perfect. She thought it was absolutely dreadful. The rest of the day was not much better. During nap time, Victoria raised her hand and informed Mrs. Chud that Chrysanthemum's name was spelled with 13 letters. That's exactly half as many letters as there are in the entire alphabet, Victoria explained. Thank you for sharing that with us, Victoria, said Mrs. Chud. Now put your head down. Something tells me that Victoria's parents are rich, and maybe that's why she's getting away with so much at school. If I had a name like yours, I'd change it, Victoria said as the students lined up to go home. I wish I could, thought Chrysanthemum miserably. That's her last name. Chrysanthemum J. Miserably. That's her full name. Welcome home, said her mother. Welcome home, said her father. School is no place for me, said Chrysanthemum. My name is too long, it scarcely fits on a name tag, and I'm named after a flower. Oh, pish. I'm sorry. I know I was going to try not to make fun of this book too much, but oh, pish. Poo-poo to that. You know? Like, oh, pish, said her mother. Your name is beautiful. Hey, who says oh, pish? That sounds vaguely dirty. It's not a dirty word, but it sounds like it could be. Oh, pish. Hey, you try saying that at Denny's and see if you don't get in trouble. Oh, pish. Boy, howdy. Yowza, yowza, yowza. 23 skidoo. Oh, pish, said her mother. Your name is beautiful, and precious, and priceless, and fascinating, and winsome, said her father. It's everything you are, said her mother. Absolutely perfect, said her father. Dude, nice Birkenstock sandals there, Dad. Chrysanthemum felt much better after her favorite dinner, macaroni and cheese with ketchup, and an evening filled with hugs and kisses and parcheesi. That's a mouse's favorite game is parcheesi. Huh? Get it? I know you do. That night, Chrysanthemum dreamed her name was Jane. It was an extremely pleasant dream. Let's not forget the fact that the dad right here is reading a book called The Inner Mouse, Volume 1, Childhood Anxiety. Wow, good job hiding the book from your child with anxiety, Dad. The next morning, Chrysanthemum wore her most comfortable jumper. She walked to school as slowly as she could. She dragged her feet in the dirt. Chrysanthemum, 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 she wrote. If you don't like the name Chrysanthemum, just go by Chris. Or Anthemum. She even looks like a flower, said Victoria as Chrysanthemum entered the playground. Let's pick her, said Rita, pointing. Let's smell her, said Joe. Chrysanthemum wilted. She did not think her name was absolutely perfect. She thought it was absolutely dreadful. How much you want to bet Victoria is, related to the police chief? Or, if it's a small town, the sheriff? or like the mayor. The rest of the day was not much better. During nap time, Victoria raised her hand and said, "A chrysanthemum is a..." This woman, this girl, this Victoria. This is a children's channel, so I am not going to say exactly how I feel about her and what I think should be done to her. But she is rude. She is rude. During nap time, Victoria raised her hand and said, "A chrysanthemum is a flower. It lives in a garden with worms and other dirty things." "Thank you for sharing that with us, Victoria," said Mrs. Chudd. "Now put your hand down." Rude. "I just cannot believe your name," Victoria said as the students lined up to go home. "Neither can I," said Chrysanthemum miserably. "Welcome home," said her mother. "Welcome home," said her father. "I think we should stop talking like this," said her mother. "I think we should stop talking like this too," said her father. "You know you don't always have to talk right after me, husband," said her mother. "You are absolutely right, and I will stop doing it, dear," said her father. "School is no place for me," said Chrysanthemum. "They said I even looked like a flower. They pretended to pick me and smell me." "Oh, pish," said her mother. "They're just jealous." "And envious and begrudging and discontented and jaundiced," said her father. Wow, somebody got a word-a-day calendar. "Who wouldn't be jealous of a name like yours?" said her mother. "After all, it's absolutely perfect," said her father. "Father, you don't always have to talk right after Mother. It's kind of rude." Chrysanthemum felt a trifle better after her favorite dessert, chocolate cake with buttercream frosting, and another evening filled with hugs and kisses and parcheesi. I see you reading that self-help book for your child while hugging the child. There are some issues here. Put the book down and just listen. That night, Chrysanthemum dreamed that she really was a chrysanthemum. She sprouted leaves and petals. Victoria picked her and plucked the leaves and petals one by one until there was nothing left but a scrawny stem. It was the worst nightmare of Chrysanthemum's life. Chrysanthemum wore her outfit with 7 pockets the next morning. She loaded the pockets with her most prized possessions and her good luck charms. Chrysanthemum took the longest possible route to school. She stopped and stared at each and every flower. "Chrysanthemum, chrysanthemum, chrysanthemum," the flowers seemed to say. That morning, the students were introduced to Miss Twinkle, the music teacher. Her voice was like something out of a dream, as was everything else about her. The students were speechless. They thought Mrs. Twinkle was an indescribable wonder. They went out of their way to make a nice impression. Mrs. Twinkle led the students in scales. Then she assigned roles for the class musicale. Victoria was chosen as the dainty fairy queen. Probably because, this is a small town, and Victoria is related to the guy who owns half the town. She's just rude. Victoria is rude. Rude! I just believe in equality. I believe that everyone is equal. I'm no better than you. You're no better than me. My mustache is better than all of us. But I think that everyone should be treated equally. And the idea that here's Victoria, this bully, who is just picking on this person because of their name is just very rude. Rita was chosen as the spiffy butterfly princess. Joe was chosen as the all-important pixie messenger. And Chrysanthemum was chosen as a daisy. Chrysanthemum's a daisy, chrysanthemum's a daisy. Joe, Rita, and Victoria chanted, thinking it was wildly funny. Chrysanthemum wilted. She did not think her name was absolutely perfect. She thought it was absolutely dreadful. "What's so humorous?" said Mrs. Twinkle. "Chrysanthemum," was the answer. "Her name is so long," said Joe. "It scarcely fits on her name tag," said Rita, pointing. "I'm named after my grandmother," said Victoria. "She's named after a flower." Mrs. Twinkle kicked Victoria right in the face. Oh, no, sorry, I just made that up. Sorry, Victoria's very rude. My name is Long, said Mrs. Twinkle. It is, said Joe. My name would scarcely fit on a name tag, said Mrs. Twinkle. It would, said Rita, pointing. And, said Mrs. Twinkle, I'm named after a flower, too. My name is Audrey. Feed me, Seymour! That's a joke I don't think any of you kids are going to get. But if you do, high five. Pow! I'm named after a flower, too. You are, said Victoria. Did I tell you that I'm named after my grandmother? Yes, said Mrs. Twinkle. My name is Delphinium. Delphinium Twinkle. And if my baby is a girl, I'm considering Chrysanthemum as a name. I think it's absolutely perfect. Wow, what an amazing difference one nice teacher can do. Did you hear me, Mrs. Chud? Chrysanthemum could scarcely believe her ears. She blushed, she beamed, she bloomed, she burped. Just kidding about that last one. Chrysanthemum, Chrysanthemum, Chrysanthemum. Joe, Rita, and Victoria looked at Chrysanthemum longingly. Call me Marigold, said Joe. I'm Carnation, said Rita, pointing. And my name is Lily of the Valley, said Victoria. Copycats. Chrysanthemum did not think her name was absolutely perfect. She knew it. Epilogue. There's an epilogue. You know what an epilogue is, kids? That's a little bit at the end. Overall, the class musicale was a huge success. Chrysanthemum was absolutely perfect as a daisy. Victoria made the only mistake. She completely forgot her lines as the dainty fairy queen. Chrysanthemum thought it was wildly funny, and she giggled throughout the entire Dance of the Flowers. Eventually, Mrs. Twinkle gave birth to a healthy baby girl, and of course, she named her Mr. Steve. Oh, that's so sweet. Oh, pshaw. Oh, wait, and of course, she named her Chris Rock. She named her Chris Rock. Chrysler. That's a car. And of course, she named her Chrysanthemum. And that's the end of that story. Anyway, hope you enjoyed today's story time. Be sure and like and subscribe and all those things I'm supposed to say because I'm a guy on YouTube. We'll see you later. Bye.
And we say bye-bye.